Good day, Father Matt Williams here. I'm on a little vacation in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm at the National Shrine of St. Jude, and here in this little grotto dedicated to the Blessed Mother, to Our Lady. And I was talking to the pastor. I was able to celebrate the Mass here, and talking to the pastor, he says that over the years they've had this continuous novena to St. Jude, and profound miracles have been worked through his intercession, through this novena. I'm sure it's certainly to Our Lady. The candles here, the vigil candles that you see lit here, the vigil candles just represent these prayer petitions that are placed before our Blessed Mother and certainly St. Jude, and asking the powerful intercession of the saints. You know, these candles just represent faith, like profound faith that God is alive, that the saints are before the throne of God praying to the Lord, and that God still works miracles through his saints, through his body, the church, and that we can expect miracles every day, that God is truly alive and hears our prayers, and that he ultimately grants them according to his divine will. Why is this important for us? Well, today's the first Sunday of Lent, and always the first Sunday of Lent focuses on the temptations of Jesus when he goes into the desert and he's tempted by the devil, you know? And it's so great that that gospel passage is given to us in the Gospels. Why? Because you know what? We suffer temptation as well. And Jesus' experience of temptation helps us to understand that he knows what it's like for us to suffer temptation. Granted, Jesus never sinned, but we did, right? We've sinned. We've fallen short of the glory of God. But Jesus understands what it's like for us to be tempted. He understands it. He overcomes it. He always seeks. He's the obedient son. He always seeks to follow the Father's will. And because Jesus has gone before us already, experienced temptation and overcome temptation, we know that by his grace, we too can overcome temptation through the power of prayer. This Lent invites us to enter more deeply into the power of prayer and expect that God's grace is alive and he can transform our hearts, and that God can take our broken hearts that are inclined to sin and bring healing and transformation and the grace that we need to live in his presence, to do his will, to be obedient as Jesus is the obedient son. So let these candles be a reminder to me and to you, to all of us, of the power of prayer, and that God does answer prayers, that miracles still happen, and that God can perform a miracle in your heart today. Do not allow your circumstances or your experiences to dictate what the truth is, or to become the measure of the truth. Let the truth, who is God himself, Jesus Christ, be the measure of the truth, and that God is alive and he wants to grant you graces today to live in his holy will, to be an obedient son and daughter. So as we contemplate the temptation of the Lord today, may we know that God has already purchased for us the grace that we need to become the saints that we're called to be. St. Jude, pray for us. Our Lady of Lourdes, pray for us. God bless you.